Hello, my dear friends and family, Captain Starsky here, and that's true, I'm a real captain, only not in terms of aviation. Very welcome to beautiful Japan. The weather is absolutely fantastic here in this part of the world. Today we're starting at a tiny island in Japan. Oh my god, I forgot the name. We will fly just about 100 nautical miles to uh, Romeo Juliet Kilo Alpha, and we will make this trip on board of this aircraft. We have Beechcraft Bonanza from Black Square, the recent update. Alright, we will talk a bit about the update, about the changes in just a while, and before that we will take a walk around and check out this poor man Bonanza over here. So, as usual, we have a pitot cover that we need to remove. We have engine cover that we can also remove. And holy shit, the huge spider right here in my room. That is absolutely threatening. Oh my god. A36 Bonanza from Black Square, the recent edition, with some of the updated features that again we will talk about. All the control surfaces are movable. We cannot do it right now because we have a lock enabled there. And also in this update you can now easily walk onto the wing, which is absolutely cool, I think. That's just so amazing. So you might ask, why am I calling this a poor man's Bonanza? Well, it's because if we go inside, alright, and take a look at the control panel, you might immediately notice something. You might ask, dude, where the hell is all the top-notch navigation equipment? Where are all those modern avionics? Where the hell is your weather radar? So it's not there anymore, all right? And you can actually toggle the weather radar pod, but in this new update, if you toggle it off, not only it disappears from your wing, it also disappears from your cockpit. How cool is that? And that's exactly what I did, because this is the poor man's Bonanza. It has like the minimal amount of avionics, and this is exactly what the real aircraft looks like in Japan, sold for approximately 140K at this point, and that's basically the reason I'm flying it all the way from Japan to Germany. Alright, let's pretend the walk around was complete. Let's close the door. By the way, this is a generic scenery, alright? It looks absolutely adorable. I love it. So, among the recent updates introduced in this add-on, you have first of all the text here on the window doesn't disappear anymore. It doesn't go below the terrain, all right, over here, so it was fixed. Numerous little fixes were introduced. Again, the radar pod, also you can toggle it on and off. One thing that I would really like to see changed, all right, in this add-on in the future updates is, first of all, I would like it to remember the position of those knobs, the glare sheet light and the flight instruments lighting. I would like them to be remembered, all right, as well as HSI settings. That would be really cool, because they have that, for example, in Just Flight Piper Arrow 3, the one that I'm flying most of the time, and that would be handy, all right? Because when you sit down in this aircraft, it behaves exactly like your own aircraft, all right? The aircraft that that literally remembers, you know, your butt prints are still there, all right, in the seats. So I would really like that to happen. Also, that flickering is kind of annoying at times. I don't know why. Maybe it's because, you know, those materials are transparent, and when you have several transparent materials layered on top of each other, you can see that happening from time to time. All right, let's start this bad boy. Let's check out. All right, we have left fuel tank selected. Let's turn on the battery and the alternators. We can actually turn on the headphones. This is a really cool feature. I hope more aircraft add-ons in the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 to have that, all right, because that's actually very handy. All right, and what do we do next? Oh my god, I didn't fly for a couple of days already, and I forgot everything. All right, the doors are closed, and by the way, that is why you actually have the checklist. All right, use the checklist, dude. So lights. All right, we are in the aircraft. We should turn on the navigation and beacon lights. Double check that the fuel tank is selected. All right. Let's introduce some fuel. As always, here we have our pump. All right, here we can see the fuel flow. Okay, I love the fact that it changes with your throttle, like in the real aircraft. Not like I've flown a real aircraft ever in my life, but logically this is what it looks like in the real one. And with that, we can just turn the key, or right, or whatever it is that just started. All right. The aircraft has started successfully. Now we can also turn on the master avionics, and you can immediately see that it's alive. It's alive. Another thing that I cannot understand is when the transponder starts, all right, it starts already in the altitude reporting position. I'm not sure if it's like a bug or a feature, but you have to keep your eye on it. And also all the instruments, the ADF and everything, it's also on, all right. Even though every single flight I just turn them off if I don't use them, but that's something that I encounter in this add-on. It's nothing critical, guys. Like, you can still fly with that, nothing critical, but those tiny things, they actually make a difference, alright? What this aircraft feels like to you, if it feels like yours, like A2A, for example, or if it feels like, you know, just another aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator, you know. Yeah, I would really like to feel more individualization, so to say. Let's set up our altitude. I think 300, 200 of the 1050. My god, I forgot English language completely. 2500 feet. That's the word. I speak English, I swear. Let's check out the area. There's no unfortunate people anywhere near our propeller, and we can pretty much depart, alright. So when you stay on the ground, generally you just pull the mixture back just a bit, in order to keep your spark plugs functioning a bit longer. We can select the taxi lights, and basically we can go. Ground handling was improved, the nose wheel amortization. So today we will take off downwind, even though you can see the sock over there clearly showing the way, right? But we will go downwind. That's because of the slope of this airfield. You can see that that part is much higher than that part. Like the slope makes a difference. All right. Let's go. And by the way, the FPS today are surprisingly high. Like, I have 0 stutters at all, and this time I'm recording this video with 60 FPS quality. I really hope that you will also see this game the way I see it, because I noticed that in other videos you could see occasional stutters and things like that, and that's literally because even though I run the game with 60 FPS and it runs smoothly and perfectly well, alright, I have 4070 RTX, but the video was a bit choppy, so let's see if it works. Alright, let's turn the runway heading. And generally speaking, when you enter the runway, alright, if you're like a sane, sober person, if you are a real pilot, alright, you immediately turn on your strobe lights to signalize that you're entering the runway. You might also change your taxi lights, landing lights, all that stuff. And basically, yeah, basically we can extend the flaps just 1 notch and turn on the pump, altitude reporting on. We want to select the runway heading always, right? And we can take off. Alright, we had a successful takeoff, landing gear up, flaps up, the fuel pump off, and we want to keep the manifold pressure at maximum and our RPM around 2500 according to the POH, right? And also we want to fly heading 185. That's approximately over there, alright? Oh my god, I'm jerking this yoke like crazy. Why? Why am I doing that? So we want to keep our vertical speed around plus 600 will do. Okay, let's turn on the autopilot, select heading, arm the altitude, and engage the vertical speed. Alright, I love this autopilot, okay, and I love the altitude hold, something I'm missing very much in my Piper Arrow. Also, we want to... where is the... alright, let's turn on the blower. Alright. One thing that I'm missing in this specific aircraft is, you know, like a tiny EFB right here, somewhere. Alright? Or here, for example, on this yoke. Just a tiny EFB with a simple moving map, maybe charts, something like that. Just something like if this one, besides these tabs that are of course very important, could also include something like a moving map, that would be fantastic. Like, of course, you have this one. Yes, like you have this one already. But you know what I'm saying. It's not really what I'm looking for. So if it was physically in the cockpit somewhere, that would be just so good. But besides that, it's a perfect aircraft. One thing that I noticed, and by the way, we reached our cruise altitude. Let's set the power around 23 square. Alright. One thing I noticed about this aircraft, compared to Piper Arrow, for example, it handles just so well. In fact, I managed to land in such places where that would be completely impossible, for example, on board of Piper Arrow. Even though the stall speed on Piper Arrow is literally 10 knots lower than in Bonanza. But the very handling is just so good. So basically you can easily fly this one to grass strips, you can land in all sorts of sketchy areas, if you're careful, of course, alright? But it works. Okay, we're flying over the... oh my god, what is it? Japanese Sea? Pacific Ocean? Somewhere in that area. The texturing is freaking photorealistic, alright, as always. Black square, well done. I love it. I can almost feel the touch, you know, to this leather-ish seat. The fabric looks very, very much realistic. I love it. Yeah, the texturing is just so good. Yeah, there are tiny nuances in this aircraft, but generally speaking, it's nothing serious, alright? It flies well, it handles well, it looks amazing. The system's depth, as always, I mean, black square, that's probably an example of quality, right? Like, look at those scratches here. Check out the compass. Oh my god. I love this one, absolutely. And I think that this feeling is shared by many hundreds, if not thousands, of people who already purchased this aircraft. It's very good. Let's pick another fuel tank just in case. Another thing, for example, if you had a chance to fly the Blackbird C310, the twin-engine aircraft, you know about that tiny trick, alright, that if you forget to turn on the fuel pump while switching between the fuel tanks, your aircraft might actually lose power, alright? You might actually lose one engine. And that happened to me many times. I'm not sure if they modeled anything like that in this one, but that would be handy. In fact, I would really like some the real pilots of Bonanza to share some of their experience in flying these aircrafts. However, from what I know, right, from the feedback on the forums and different communities, this one is considered like a premium class aircraft. It was built like one. Comparing a real aircraft based on the game, alright, of course it's very fun. It's like, you know, learning making kids on a YouTube. That won't help you much, but it might give you just a tiny glimpse of what it is. And speaking of Bonanza, of course I have all other variants. I have the turbocharged one, I have the turboprop Bonanza that also comes included in that package. I didn't try them yet, and frankly speaking, I don't really feel like. I'm sorry, but I prefer something that the poor man can afford, alright, even though it already sounds funny, alright, because we're speaking about the A36 Bonanza, but still. Judging from what I see on the EFB, we made it halfway to our destination, and again, it would be so cool to have, you know, just a tiny EFB, some sort of tablet included here, you know, just hanging there somewhere in this area, for example. That would be just so good. I love the club seating configuration. And another thing that I would really like to see is, for example, some baggage appearing here, alright? Yes, that's eye candy, but it's always good to have those candies, right? Or for example, some of the clothes hanging on this clothes rack. Yeah, that'd be great. But again, that's just me. Sound in this aircraft sounds amazing, alright, and also this is something that I miss very much in add-ons like for example Piper Arrow, right? Even though I understand why you don't see many radar or altimeters in such aircraft, but that is just so handy, for example, flying in IMC, landing somewhere. Yeah, this one is just so good to have. And of course, you hear that? You can actually tap the glass. That's something you don't see often in other add-ons. And by the way, different indicators have different sound. I love it. To be honest with you guys, I also have F-33 from Carinado, which I actually purchased while waiting for this one to be released, alright? The F-33 from Carinado is, well, of course it's a different model, it's a debonair, and it has a much lower stall speed, again something like 10 knots lower, which makes it possible to land in different sketchy places. But again, this one is just so good. Of course, you cannot compare the system depth, the fidelity. Those two things are completely different. Carinado offers you beautiful picture, sound, effects, all that stuff, textures and yada yada. Here in Black Square add-on you can see all that, plus the system's depth, alright. So if you want an aircraft that you can just jump in and just fly straight away, Carinado is for you. If you want the aircraft with like every system actually working, alright, working like in the real life or almost in the real life, then of course you can pick this one. You will not regret it. And immediately we can tell that there is some weather straight ahead building up, alright, and I don't need a weather radar to tell that we have weather, right? I can just change our course, okay, and just avoid it. Plus, I think that island is exactly where we're supposed to go. And while we are approaching our destination, I think it's a good idea to contact the approach, right? To signalize about our presence here in the area. The frequency is 124.905. Mami approach, good evening, Beechcraft Delta Echo Tango Tango Foxtrot at 2,500 feet, approximately 10 miles north, inbound for landing on the active runway.
Beechcraft Delta Echo Tango Tango Foxtrot, Naha approach, Naha Airport active runways are 36 left and 36 right. Advise intentions and if flight following is requested.
Beechcraft Tango Tango Foxtrot would like to land runway 36 right, requesting VFR flight following.
Beechcraft Tango Tango Foxtrot, unable runway 36 right, closed for maintenance. Active runway is 36 left. Say intentions.
Thank you very much. Beechcraft Tango Tango Foxtrot would like full stop, runway 36 left.
Beechcraft Tango Tango Foxtrot, expect a visual approach runway 36 left. Report final. Wind 035 at 11. QNH 29er.88.
Beechcraft Tango Tango Foxtrot, roger that. We'll join left downwind runway 36 left. We'll report final. Okay, we can descend, alright. I think this will be enough. Let's arm the altitude, arm the vertical speed and all that stuff. We can also turn on our landing lights and the fuel pump. And just in case, we can also switch to the fullest tank.
3 hours later.
I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Is that my I think that's my destination, but I cannot see any 36 right. What the hell? Approach Beechcraft Delta Echo Tango Tango Foxtrot. Please confirm I'm landing at Romeo Juliet Kilo Alpha.
Beechcraft Tango Tango Foxtrot. Negative. You are landing at Aroa, Naha Airport. Beechcraft Tango Tango Foxtrot. Verify you're squawking 2444, mode Z.
Departure November Charlie 1845, cleared.
Beechcraft Tango Tango Foxtrot, roger that, squawking 2444.
Beechcraft Tango Tango Foxtrot. Radar contact, due north of Amami Airport at 1500 feet. Amami QNH 29.88.
Beechcraft Tango Tango Foxtrot, roger that, requesting full stop at Amami Romeo Juliet Kilo Alpha.
Beechcraft Tango Tango Foxtrot. Unable RJK. You are on course to Raw. Stay in tension.
Beechcraft Tango Tango Foxtrot, diverting to Romeo Juliet Kilo Alpha. How to defeat say intentions for Doomies.
1 eternity later.
So let's imagine they gave us permission to land at Amami Airport, and basically we're joining the left downwind. We're already joining the left base. We can deploy our undercarriage and the flaps, and we are already configured to go. Alright, let's make a turn. Turn off the radio just in case. And try and land this bad boy. So, the handling of this aircraft, again, it's just so good. I managed to land in such places I wouldn't even go on my helicopter. That is why I like this add-on so much. Alright. So, we need to go there. That's our destination. The handling is amazing. I'm not sure if it feels like that on the actual aircraft, alright? We're a bit too low though, but anyways, we can add just a bit of power. I'm not sure if it's like that on the actual aircraft, right? Please tell me if you have any experience flying the real bird, but I love the way it handles. It's so convenient. It's literally as if you're just sitting somewhere on the sofa watching TV, alright, and just chilling. Okay. Even despite the fact that we're flying at some very, very low speed, right, in the landing configuration, the handling is still so gentle and responsive. I absolutely love this one. By the way, it was my first ever landing with the outside camera. How cool is that? I would never risk anything like that with, for example, Piper Arrow. I absolutely love it. The Black Square did impressive job with this aircraft. The add-on is probably some of the best in 2025. I think it's a good rival to, or maybe not rival, but let's say an addition, alright, to your fleet of high-fidelity aircraft like A2A Aerostar, A2A Comanche, of course, Just Flight, Arrow, Warrior, Turbo Arrow, all that stuff. You gotta get it. You won't regret, trust me. It was a great flight. We can also hang, you know, the static port covers and pitot covers, all that stuff. Yes, it looks great. We can close the door from here. I enjoy it. I enjoy it, my friends. Some of the best aircraft you can find for the Microsoft Flight Simulator today. Buy one, fly one. It will turn you into a superhero. It will give you a lot of pleasure flying around. It will help you lose some extra kilograms. It will improve the quality of your marriage. It will help you give birth to many kids and see them grow wealthy and happy. With that, my dear friends and family, thank you so much for watching. My name is Captain Starsky. Be safe, fly safe. We'll see you in the next one.